Thank you for joining us for the Barbados Today afternoon news for Wednesday, July 12. I am Marie-Claire Williams. We begin with news of a road fatality at Westmoreland, St. James. Police are on the scene where a female pedestrian was struck and killed by a truck a short while ago. Police spokesman, Acting Inspector Roland Cobbler, told Barbados Today that this brings to 16 the number of road deaths so far this year. This compares to a total of 10 for last year. And we'll have more on the accident as the details become available. In other news this afternoon, some healthcare providers are raising concern over the number of women being treated for substance abuse. Director of Clinical Services at Marina House, Angela Seeley, tells Barbados Today that since the facility opened over a year ago, they have seen women ages ranging 19 to 70 seeking help for substance abuse. And she said the most common problem is the abuse of alcohol. Seeley told Barbados Today that while some are seeking treatment, many others are deterred by the stigma attached to drug abuse.
The women are coming slow but steady. Right now we have about 7 women in the program, and it's taken some time because, like I said before, the stigma that's attached to the women having to go through the psychiatric hospital, and then they're being deemed as crazy, whereas all they just need to do is to be detoxed and then come to a marina. And most of the times, because there's children involved, although in the substance use, they've been out, they're still thinking, what's going to happen to my children? And because of the chaos that they have caused, with family members and friends, there's still that problem of who's going to look after my children. So this is also a hindrance. But if they know that they can have some person to look after the children till they come into residential treatment, they can do it for 90 days. And after they complete the 90 days, and that's the first phase, 90 days, then they can go on to 6 months.
She also raised concern about the apparent glorification of alcohol in popular culture.
Because it's so cultural, it's just easy to go on any corner and get alcohol. And they're talking about drinking responsibly. And if you think of it, the kids from 7 and 8, they're drinking at home. The parents, having a drink, they put it down and they turn away. The kids have to take a drink. And then you figure, my child's just tired, the child is already drunk.
International Business Minister Don Villeneuve is agreeing with the local economist Jeremy Stephen that government's delayed rollout of its controversial foreign exchange fee will affect its chances of achieving the $542 million budgetary target. Finance Minister Chris Sinclair announced the new tax in his budget presentation in May. It was due to take effect on July 1st, but in a statement late last month, the central bank said the measure will now be implemented in 2 phases, beginning July 17. In an interview with Barbados Today, Innes expressed little optimism that government will rake in the anticipated amounts of the levy in a shorter time. And organizers of this year's 4-day morning says all systems are in place for the event. Producer David Ziggy Walcott told a news conference this morning that so far 47 bands have registered for the August 4 event. He says while some of the regulars have pulled out, several new bands have registered.
Some of the traditional bands, especially the older bands, 1 or 2 have decided to have their own event, but then some of the things will come back as well. There's always that toss about whether they leave, go there more in, and then they decide to come back. Every time you always have bands added. Some days you will have 50 and then accumulate to a whole. And what happens on the day of the event, because of the size band, we then determine if we will merge bands so that we won't have too many big bands or too many bands on the road. So it works perfectly. So then you get on the road and you work for a longer time, you get on the road safely. So I can't really say how many new bands we have. So.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Good morning, Phillips and Company, may I help? Oh, certainly. One moment, please. Miss Phillips?
Yeah?
There's a lady on the line from the Nation newspaper who would like to speak with you.
The Nation? Will she go on?
Well, they're trying to sell us some ads.
Look, don't make me laugh this morning. Ads in the Nation? They're real expensive, and for 1 year, nobody ain't buying them papers no more. Nobody want to steal news. I hear reading Barbados Today online for free. So I tell she thanks for calling, but no thanks. We just advertising Barbados Today, families. Tell she is Barbados Today all the way.
Okay, I'll pass on the message. Mom, are you still there? Oh, she put it down.
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Thank you for staying with us. In news from the region, the Guyana government has approved the implementation of a 4-part emergency plan to deal with the aftermath of Sunday's fire at the Camp Street prison. One officer died in the blaze and several inmates escaped. President David Granger outlined the steps that his administration is taking, as we hear in this report from HGP Nightly News.
The construction of temporary structures to safely and securely house prisoners in the short term and protect the population. The completion of a recovery operation to account for and accommodate every single prisoner. The implementation of legal measures to immediately reduce prison population and, importantly, the immediate recapture of those inmates who escaped custody.
The head of state assured that the National Security Council, which met on Monday for the second time after the Camp Street incident, will continue to remain engaged to coordinate and implement immediate measures to ensure that the situation remains stable and secure and that there is a return to normalcy.
The Guyana Defense Force, Guyana Police Force, Guyana Prison Service, and Guyana Fire Service are working together to ensure public safety.
On the international scene, U.S. President Donald Trump is defending his son over a meeting with a Russian lawyer during his presidential campaign. Trump called Donald Trump Jr. open, transparent, and innocent. Critics accuse Trump Jr. of intent to collude with the Russians and believe he may have broken federal laws. Trump Jr. told Fox News the meeting was a nothing, but he admitted that he should have handled it differently.
In retrospect, I probably would have done things a little differently. Again, this is before the Russia mania. This is before they were building it up in the press. For me, this was opposition research. They had something, maybe concrete evidence to all the stories I'd been hearing about, but they were probably underreported for, years, not just during the campaign. So I think I wanted to hear it out. But really, it went nowhere, and it was apparent that that wasn't what the meeting was actually about.
Did you tell your father anything about this?
No. It was such a nothing. There was nothing to tell. I mean, I wouldn't have even remembered it until you start scouring through the stuff. It was literally just a wasted 20 minutes, which was a shame.
And finally, an iceberg weighing more than 1 trillion tons has broken away from western Antarctica. The giant block is estimated to cover an area of roughly 6,000 square kilometers. A U.S. satellite observed the iceberg today while passing over a region known as the Larsen Sea ice shelf. Scientists say they were expecting it as they'd been following the development of a large crack in Larsen's ice for more than a decade. And that's news this afternoon. Remember, you can get more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also find us on Mix 96.9 FM. I am Marie Claire Williams. Have a good afternoon.